Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you are all staying safe and well. This is not an unboxing. I am going to assemble the Micro Tundra. I'll unpack the box, get it all out, and then we'll see what has to be done. So those are all the parts and a few extras. Got the floats over here, we've got the fuselage, got the wings, got the undercarriage. I'll be using undercarriage, not floats. Got some wing spars, not wing spars, wing struts. There's also some wiring in here for the floats. And some screws, that's about it. Oh, and a tail wheel. I've got these connectors, these converters, so I could use a standard size receiver. Although I'm not, I'm using this tiny little orange receiver. Got no weight to it at all. Battery wise, well, in desperation I got these 300 milliamp ones, but the 300 milliamp is a bit small for it. So what I've also got, which finally came from the European warehouse, are these Bolt 500 milliamp hour batteries. I've got two of those. And these are all two cells, of course, so these are 7.6 volts. And these bolts are high voltage LiPo, HVLP. And I don't know how to charge them. I'm going to charge them exactly the same as I charge a normal LiPo. Let's see what happens. Let's get it put together. But before we put it together, there's a little modification we've got to do on the fuselage. Let's get all this out of the way. So what I've got to do, I've got to cut this. Thought the best way to show you that is to mark it with a marker pen. There, so all that black is going to be cut away. That will allow for easier access of the battery. But it retains these two little prongs coming down, which are to act as guides for that piece when you connect the wing. I suppose I could cut them a bit higher up, but they do need to stay there. I've cut all that away around here, leaving these two teeth, and that's for the wing to latch into like that. So before I do the next job, I want to install these. Now these are the converters from a micro receiver to a normal receiver. And if you're watching other videos, you might find a few that say you have to purchase these. Well, you don't. They come as part of the purchase of the Micro Tundra. You do not have to buy these separately. The earlier videos that came out were a bit misleading. They gave some wrong information. Right, so these are the same connectors that the Night Walrus uses for its power. But if they're not, they're very, very similar. I'm guessing they go in like that, which looks like I'm guessing wrong. Yeah, they go in like that. And that's it. That is now ready . Right, so I've added these. Just make sure the positive, negative and signal colours match and go the same way. And it does say in the instructions to cut out that piece. Wheels on next. There they are, the wheels are on. So where were we? Yes, I'm going to glue, I'm going to use sticky pad, this receiver to the top of the wings, or the underside of the wings. But what I've got to do before I can connect the wings up, I've got to find out which one of these is for ailerons and which one is for flaps. And I'm going to be using my servo tester to do that. I'm just going to connect one of these up and see which ones move. Okay, well that's pretty much flaps, isn't it? There's your flaps. So that's flaps, which means your other one has no choice in life but to be an ailerons. And it is. So let me connect all this up and stick it on. That's all connected. So I've got flaps and ailerons coming out of the wing and going into the receiver. Then I've got the elevator, rudder and throttle going into the receiver coming out of the fuselage. Okay, I'm not screwing that in just yet. Oh, let's move that out of the way. That should be up and it's not, it's down, so we need to reverse that. That's up, that's down. Rudder right, that is correct. Rudder left, that is correct. Huge movements though. Aileron right, correct. Aileron left, correct. Flaps aren't working because I haven't programmed them into a switch. That's all good. Throttle. Yeah, there's no point looking at it. I mean, you can if you like. It's just a tiny, tiny, tiny little motor. So I've just got some setting up on the transmitter to do before I bolt it all down. So what I've decided to do here to give myself the maximum amount of room for batteries is the speed controller I've moved further back. And I'm going to hot glue it across the fuselage, and I'll hot glue these cables over there so they're out of the way. And then with this cowl on, using the bolt battery, you can sort of work out where it's going to go, and then you can sort the CFG out and put the Velcro on. So the next thing is to actually screw this wing in. The good thing is you can line the hole up with what's underneath, what you screw into. You can actually see it before you put this tiny little screw in. And then we're just going to screw it down, not too tight, just to make sure the wing doesn't move. There we go. Now the receiver is stuck to the underside of the wing. It gets it out of the way, there's nothing interfering in there. The speed controller I've taken out from the front here and I've moved it back, and I've used hot glue to hold it in place. I've hot glued the cables for the speed controller to the motor away as much as I can, and it's looking pretty good. I'm just this moment putting on these struts here. I've just put one on and I noticed that there's very little clearance between the wing strut and the adjuster on the servo. So you do have to keep an eye on that. These are very straightforward because the E part, which is a different type of plastic end, goes to the fuselage. So you can actually afford to take this label off. I've seen people with the labels still on, but you don't need the labels, but they are quite hard to get off. So there's a plastic mount here with a hole in it. You basically take your screw, making sure that the largest white plastic bit goes to the fuselage, and you screw it in. Don't want them too tight, that's it, just so they bite. And I've done the same with the one here, just so it bites. You're screwing into plastic. If you do them too tight, you're going to shear it. That's basically it. Wings on, struts on. The idea is that I can now position the battery somewhere in there. The problem you've got is this cowl won't allow you to run the battery further than that because it clips on with those magnets. You could trim them down, I suppose. In fact, you can trim them down. So what I'd suggest, if you need to, if it needs to come further forward, you just trim a little bit of this bulge here off, and you've got enough clearance then to have the cowl on and push the battery forward. Because at the moment it stops there, you can't move it any further forward. In fact, that's too far forward, and it's pushed it off, so we need to move that back. There you go. What does it say about the centre of gravity for this thing? 26 millimeters from the leading edge. It's not much, is it? 26 millimeters from the leading edge. Shall we mark it? I've marked the centre of gravity, which is 26 millimeters from the leading edge. I've got it exactly on 26. But of course I need a battery in there, and I need the prop. Now the prop they supply you with is a correct, nice black prop that just sits over there. Now this is a 6x4. So to make that a 3 blade, you have to change the diameter, which is 6 down by 1, which makes it 5. Then the pitch you generally stay the same. Well, I couldn't get a 5x4 prop, but I have got a beautiful lime green 5x4.5 prop. So the pitch is only changed by 0.5, and I think it will work wonderfully. And I think the lime green goes with the green of the graffiti. If it doesn't work, then I can always go back to the black prop. But I have to balance it out with that prop on it. So I'm going to stick this on. That'll do for now. I'm not doing it over tight. Then I'm going to put the battery in. And that is basically there, if you can see that. It's level with this area here. Then we see where it balances. Holy smoke, that is perfect. I couldn't have asked for it to be better. Thank you, Micro Tundra. I am now going to tighten that prop up, because that's where it's going to live. Very convenient. The prop adapter that goes onto the motor has got a lovely hole where the grommet is, just outside of the cowl. So when doing this nut up, you can actually put an Allen key through there like that, hold it in place, and then you put another one through here, it goes right the way through like that, and then you can tighten it all up. Very convenient. Any prop, no matter what the size, is a danger.
cut off.
Beautiful. So it's obviously the prop brake's not on, but that's okay. Right, left, up, down, right, left. Take off flaps, landing flaps. Just got to put a bit of Velcro to secure that battery in place. The Micro Tundra by Durafly. Keep an eye out because the next time I get a good bit of weather, I'll be taking it for a maiden. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you on another video. Cheers!